Alright, I've given you guys my list for the top 10 best movies of 2022. Now it's time to go into the opposite. I know this is the list you were all really looking forward to. Yeah, time to talk about my list for the top 10 worst movies of 2022. This is always one of the harder lists I have to make because, frankly, again, I don't see every movie that gets released every year, but I always do my very best to go out of my way to avoid the shitty movies that get released every year. But that being said, when you go to the movies as often as I do, eventually you'll run into some terrible movies. Another disclaimer for you guys is, once again, these will not be in-depth reviews. These will just be my quick points. I will also try to get them as quickly as possible so I don't have to talk about these shitty movies for long. And yeah, the other point is all film is subjective. This is my personal list. My list is not the right list. These are just movies that I hated. If you liked them, cool, good for you. But I will say certain movies on this list, I'll say this much, if you like them, fine, but you and I can never talk about movies. I'll just say that much. Alright, all my disclaimers have been made. Now let's light some shit on fire and send it to hell. Number 10 is a movie that the more and more I think about it, the more I just don't like it. Thor: Love and Thunder. I love the MCU. I love Thor. Thor Ragnarok, I still say, is the best Thor movie. And then Taika Waititi decided to take everything that worked about Thor Ragnarok, comedy-wise anyway, put it on steroids, placed it into this Thor: Love and Thunder movie, and what we have is what I still believe is the worst Thor movie. The movie tries way too hard to be funny, but all it is a silly, ridiculous, just stupid, cringy mess of a movie. They turn Thor into an absolute bumbling idiot the entire time, which completely wastes the development we have built with this character over this entire franchise. Natalie Portman's return to the franchise as Jane Foster, I mean, it didn't make me feel like her character being gone really made anything empty for the franchise. Everyone in this movie is a total cartoon. Russell Crowe in his fucking little man skirt with his weird little accent as Zeus, the god of all gods, that just felt wrong. Christian Bale was cool as Gore the God Butcher. If only we could have actually seen him butcher a couple more gods. The action was wasted. They had so many opportunities to really tie this movie in with other MCU movies and make for a really fun, awesome new Thor movie. In the end, I really hope this is not the last we have seen of Chris Hemsworth as Thor. He does not deserve to go out this way. At number 9, Don't Worry Darling. When you hear about the reports that the cast did not get along whatsoever with Olivia Wilde, who starred and directed in this movie, and then you watch the movie itself and you just feel so much tension, not because of the scene, but you could just sense it between the actors themselves, that's when you know it's bad. Harry Styles is in this movie, but I'm not really sure if it's because the studio believed he was the perfect choice for the leading role, or one of the leading roles anyway, or if it's just because he was railing Olivia Wilde behind the scenes. Seeing as how the jury is still out on him and being a good actor, I'm gonna go with the latter on that one. The movie tries to throw you a bunch of little nuggets here and there about, oh, what's the movie gonna be? It's trying to get you really intrigued in what the mystery behind this little town is. But then once the whole thing is finally revealed on what it is, it has you wonder, it's like, okay, why were all these things being experienced by Florence Pugh earlier in the movie? What do they have to do with really anything in regards to this situation? And then the ending happens and it leaves you with a million unanswered questions, which is really not good for a mystery movie. You'd kind of like to walk out of it with some clarity. Fun story for you guys, when I saw this movie in theaters, there was a moment that was supposed to be very suspenseful and the kid in the back of the theater completely ripped ass really, really loud and the entire theater kind of started laughing and the kid just yells, "This movie sucks!" That was easily the best part of the movie-going experience for me, and it had nothing to do with the movie itself, and I couldn't have agreed more with that kid. Does anyone remember that Beast movie with Idris Elba that came out earlier this year? I don't really. I like the rogue animal that's hunting and eating humans premise. I mean, we've seen that work before with some all-time great movies. This one, it just didn't work at all. Idris Elba is the only character you care about in this entire movie that's meant to make you care about a father trying to reconnect with his daughters, but in reality, if I wanted anyone to get eaten by the lion, it was his daughters. The movie completely lacks on tension, on thrills. You really only see this beast attack these people a few times throughout the whole movie. The rest of the time, it's just people talking and trying to find survivors, and I'm just bored shitless. When you watch a movie like this and you don't really feel like characters' lives are in danger, or even ones you care about are really in danger, you know you're gonna lose the thrills immediately and make it one you're not gonna remember. A mystery movie, headlined by a director who once had a great run of movies that has this ensemble cast at its helm, so why did Amsterdam suck golf balls through a garden hose? I don't know if that's the right saying I should have used, but I'm keeping it in there and I'm not editing it out because I still think it fits. This movie is chock full of great actors, none of whom give a performance you will think about in a positive light at any time soon. The movie comes off as this mystery investigation. Really, it's meant to be a movie about the three leads and the friendship they've built and what it was like for them in the past, how they built this friendship, but I didn't care about it. I didn't really feel a whole lot of real great chemistry between the three leads. And then the investigation happens and you don't really feel like you're in on it. It doesn't really try to throw you for some clues or give you a little insight into other characters, make you think maybe it was him, maybe it was her, maybe they did it. Part of me thinks the movie realized for a long time they kind of forgot they were supposed to be a mystery movie, and so when the ending happens, they just throw something at you, be like, here's the solution to your mystery, and you're sitting there like, well, you know what, whatever gets me out of the fucking screening. Mystery movie fail 101. If I'm not caring about your mystery and I just want to leave the theater and get back to my car and go home, that's when you know you fucked up. I love Harry Potter. I love the Wizarding World. But I'm sorry, these Fantastic Beasts movies just aren't doing it for me. Secrets of Dumbledore is no exception to that. Just like the last Fantastic Beasts movies, this one is just completely lacking the magic that made the Harry Potter movies special. I have absolutely no idea what this new franchise is leading towards. It feels completely directionless. Even shit that was being built on in the last Fantastic Beasts movies, none of it is addressed here. There's not a single wizard or non-wizard in this movie that is being developed that you really care for, that you're really invested in. Certainly not like any of the Harry Potter characters we know and love. Even the actors themselves, you kind of look at their performances and their portrayals of the characters, and you're kind of sort of like, do you even care? Do you believe in this? The Wizarding World had an amazing run with the Harry Potter franchise, but I really think we need to stop there. I truly believe the magic is dead. Number 5 for me was the death of a franchise, Jurassic World fucking Dominion. Oh my god, this movie. Jurassic Park's my favorite movie of all time. And all I've wanted is just one worthy sequel. And I genuinely believed for a moment this was going to be it. They labeled it, they marketed it as like the Avengers Endgame of the Jurassic Park franchise. You get the old cast, you got the new cast, they're all coming together in this world filled with dinosaurs, and it failed so hard. The movie has 2 different stories that feel like 2 different movies with each of these different group of characters, none of which feels like it intertwines or really connects in a very polished way at the end. It just feels like a really unfocused, sloppy, meteor-stricken disaster. One's trying to rescue a baby dinosaur, the other one's trying to stop these giant locusts from destroying crops. That's the best you could bring to a Jurassic Park movie? Oh yeah, while that's going on, dinosaurs exist in the world. Yeah, that's the second most important thing in this movie. Dinosaurs are in this world. And don't do anything important. Don't bring anything thrilling. Don't bring anything fun. They're just there. It's like the world is now filled with dinosaurs and that's the least of our concern, of our intention. What in the fuck? This officially broke my heart, broke my back, broke my spirit. I will never ever anticipate a Jurassic Park movie ever again. I'm just gonna ride and die with the original, and I'll call that a life. So I mentioned that the Wizarding World and the Jurassic Park franchise should probably call it quits. You know what else should probably stop happening? Disney live-action adaptations. Pinocchio is a great example of why. I'm not going to say that every Disney live-action adaptation was a complete fail. I mean, The Jungle Book was really good. Beauty and the Beast I also thought was enjoyable. This movie is just a lifeless, soulless sack of shit. Basically everything that was great and amazing about Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, this movie is just the complete opposite. All the characters just kind of feel like they're doing just their best impressions or takes on the Disney animation. I mean, fucking Joseph Gordon-Levitt the whole time, I think, is just doing his best impression of Jiminy Cricket the whole time. He's not trying to put his own flair, his own little spin on it. Nope, he's just trying to be as redundant and as generic as he can be. The movie has no heart, it has no soul, it has no dark tone to itself whatsoever. It's like the movie is so afraid to put in the dark, scary, pretty chilling elements that are in the Pinocchio story because they don't want to traumatize families or traumatize the kids. When in reality, that is what made Pinocchio such a unique and special movie to begin with. The end of this movie also doesn't even bring any closure. It's kind of like, we'll let you decide what happened. No, I want to know what the fuck happened. You might as well at least let me know how this shitty fucking mess ended. I think what's also really disappointing is you had Robert Zemeckis as a director, you had an award-winning writer behind the screenplay for this movie. Fucking Tom Hanks was cast as Geppetto. You had all that and you still found a way to suck a fucking dick? If that's not the notice to Disney right there to just stop with the live action adaptations, nothing's going to be. Hell, this got released on Disney Plus. It didn't even make money to even prove your point. Hopefully we are nearing the end with this nonsense because I don't want to take any more of it. Okay, so the top 3 movies on my worst of the year list conveniently all belonged to the same genre, like sort of a gothic horror-ish kind of genre. Best way I can describe it. At number 3, we have The Invitation. You start off thinking, okay, it's a girl, she's getting introduced to long-lost cousins or family from the other side of the world. She steps in, something's not right. It doesn't sound like anything groundbreaking, but you're thinking if they execute it right, could be good for some thrills, some enjoyment. What this is the most predictable horror movie I've ever seen. If there's one thing you really cannot afford to be in a horror movie, it is predictable. Every sort of scary, chilling, intense moment that's happening, you can see coming a mile away. It's like, oh, can you go see something out of that really dark, creepy room over there? Oh, yeah, okay, so something's gonna happen in there. She falls in love with, like, the lord of this beautiful castle, you know, who's accompanied by all these various different women who are all beautiful, and you never really see it certain times of day. Do you see where I'm going with this? It doesn't take a genius to figure out very quickly what storyline this movie's following, and once it happens, you're not even remotely surprised by it because the movie just threw every hint in the book right in your face. And then you're thinking, well, hey, maybe the ending of the movie will at least bring the predictable plot at least worth it. It doesn't. It's generic, it's predictable, it's boring, and thank God this movie will not live in any form of immortality. I'm sure most of you already forgot it. I unfortunately haven't, therefore it's here. Number 2 is a movie a lot of you might be surprised is not my number 1 of the year, but it is a movie that I really fucking hated and made me fucking angry. Run, Sweetheart, Run. People ask me all the time, Connor, why do you hate feminism? I don't. I hate the feminazi culture that has grown and developed today, and this movie is the prime example of that shit. I remember the trailer for this movie. It actually looked intriguing. A girl goes on a date with this guy, and then the guy turns out to be this serial killer, and he's like, I'm gonna hunt you throughout the night. That actually sounds like it could be interesting. Deadly game of hide and seek or some shit. Who doesn't want to see that? But again, like The Invitation, the movie's not even remotely scary or remotely intense, doesn't give you any sort of edge on your seat kind of feeling. Lead girl in this movie, she's a fucking idiot. She can't fend for herself. That's the thing. You want to talk strong, independent woman? Well, that doesn't exist here. Constantly have to go to friends and strangers to protect her from this man. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you there. And the movie, above all, just beats you over the head with the toxic feminazi message that men suck and women are these perfect angels. Literally, in this movie, every guy character is a complete piece of shit, with the exception of maybe like 2 who have little to nothing to do with the story. Tried to throw in this whole mythological evil monster thing as this big twist in the movie, but did it make sense for the movie? No, not fucking really. This movie could have easily been my number 1. In fact, the sole reason it wasn't my number 1 were a couple reasons. Number 1, I actually did get some enjoyment in the comment section of this video from the idiots out there who were actually trying to defend the movie and be like, you just didn't get it. No, I fucking get it. It's a complete cinematic dumpster fire abortion that completely failed miserably in any and all forms of execution. And the other reason I'm not giving it number 1 is because I fucking hate the feminazi movement in this world so much that I refuse to give it the number 1 slot. I'm not giving it the best of anything, even if it means the biggest piece of shit in the world. Not even gonna give it that honor, you're gonna stay at number 2. And here we are, the worst movie of the year, the movie that literally just sucked the life out of me, just completely made me feel like slow death for however long it was, like 2 hours. I don't even care anymore. The number 1 worst movie of the year, Morbius. Between the 2 Venom movies and now this, I think we need to stop giving Spider-Man villains their own standalone movies because it's really failing epically. And this movie, I think, cemented that. Jared Leto's a great actor. I've seen him be phenomenal, but dude, stop with comic book movies. It's clear. It's not for you. It's supposed to be a movie about this scientist who becomes this living vampire. That should be really cool shit, but it's not. Even remotely. Once again, the movie wanted to be PG-13, and you can see how much it held this movie back. Didn't say it for some very laughable acting performances. I mean, seriously, the guy fucking covering his neck because he got slashed, but he can't show blood, so he does the fake choking on blood noise. That was the moment I knew this movie was gonna just be a complete piece of shit. As soon as that happened, I was just like, oh, great. The action of this movie is the most poorly shot, shitty mess I've ever seen. Like, when 2 vampires or creatures go at each other, it's just a bunch of blue and orange lines just going across the screen because, you know, they're fighting at like supersonic speed. Like, I don't care about seeing these streaks. Let me see them fight. I don't want to see them throw punches in slow motion. Let's see some epic vampire shit. Every performance is forgettable. I don't even fucking remember who the villain of this movie is. I frankly don't care. This movie, above all, is boring. There were constant moments throughout this movie I was nodding off. I think at least one moment I fell asleep. So who knows, maybe that's what happened. Maybe I just dreamt this horrible, shitty version of Morbius and I woke up and it was a dream. Or in this case, a really boring nightmare. Probably not, no, I think this movie is just a pile of shit. But the fact that I am nodding off, feeling drowsy, feeling tired from a comic book movie, that's a big problem right there. I don't believe this movie is building towards anything to look forward to. I don't think there's one shred of redemption I can find in this movie. I fucking hated it. Easily one of the worst superhero movies I've seen in a very long time, and it's not even leading towards anything to be excited about. You would think that maybe with like a post-credit scene or something, it could get me excited and be like, oh, well, it sucks, but at least it's building towards that. No, even with this movie's post-credit scene, I know it's not building towards anything, and there's nothing to even be remotely excited for with Morbius. Hey, look at that. The top 10 worst movies of 2022, according to me, bookended by 2 Marvel movies. Not a great year for them. Now we have reached the end of this list. The best part of it for me, because now I never have to think about or talk about any of these movies ever again for as long as I live. Oh, praise Jesus. And now I leave it over to you guys. Don't forget to leave a comment. Let me know what you thought were the worst movies of the year. Did you see 10? Did you see 5? Did you see 20? I really hope you didn't see 20. If you saw 20 movies that were genuinely horrible, please make better life choices. You deserve better than that. And also, before I wrap this up, I want to give a big thank you to you guys real quick, because I want to end this on a more positive note so I don't end this video angry. But 2022 was a really, I think, good year for me and my channel. I saw a lot more uptick in the comments, in my subscribers, in the views on my video. I've really been enjoying talking movies with you guys in the comments section. I'm really happy to see that some of my videos are getting more views, getting more likes, getting more attention. I'm definitely not trending towards being YouTube famous or anything like that, but that's okay. What I really love seeing here is I feel like this year we've started to build a little bit more of a community here. Just another place for you guys to come and chat some movies with a fellow movie lover. And that's all I've ever really wanted with this. I like seeing my channel grow. I like seeing new people come in to check out what I'm doing over here. So seriously, bottom of my heart, thank you guys for doing that. Hopefully we can keep this train rolling over here, and our community is only going to get stronger and better as the future goes on. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.